What's up? Welcome to your Buckeye Rush Hour for a Friday, March 15th, 2024. Hope you guys are having a good Friday, end of your Friday, hopefully, and end of the week. How about that? So, uh, another normal week on campus at Ohio State, right? Nothing weird going on here. Fuck. This is mind blowing, man. Uh, with Tony Alford. So that's going to be our main topic today. We'll see if Jeff and or Sean want to pop in and pop off about Tony Alford. Yeah, really frustrating. Uh, Not just the timing, but going to fucking Michigan. I mean, honestly. So I'll keep an eye out for Jeff and Sean. Um, yeah, so Wednesday morning, running backs coach Tony Alford. I'll get to your comments and questions in the chat. But Tony Alford, it was announced he's leaving Ohio State after 9 years to take the exact same position with the Cheaters at the team up north. Question for the chat. How about a thumbs up or a thumbs down on Alford leaving? Doesn't matter the reasoning or where he's going, just the fact that Tony Alford's leaving. Are you happy, sad, good, bad, up, down? Let me know what you're feeling. I'm really curious because, as you can imagine, with any announcement or anything that happens with Ohio State football, there's a range of emotion, a range of opinions. So I'd love to know if you guys are happy about it, because there is a bright side. There is also a downside. So, but please let me know. Thumbs up, thumbs down, however you want to communicate it. So, yeah, Alford came to the Buckeyes back in 2015 as part of Urban Meyer's staff. So the timing right now is surprising, and the destination where he's going is surprising. But Tony Alford had to lobby Ryan Day to keep his job back in January. Essentially, the rumor is that Ryan Day had everyone interview for their jobs again. So obviously, Tony did enough to keep his job, but to even be mentioned as possibly getting fired or being let go was not good. And also, Tony didn't get a contract extension, so he only had one more year left on his deal. It would have run through 2024, and he would have been out of a job. So you understand it from a business point of view. If you're Tony Alford, you're getting a 3-year deal, basically the same money, not much different, versus a 2-year deal, which is what Ohio State countered with, but not a big raise. I mean, the per year salary was virtually the same. So I think it could be a good time for a fresh start for the Buckeyes and for Tony. Go our separate ways. Let bygones be bygones. Oh, except we're going to kick the shit out of you every November. So enjoy that until your entire staff gets fired. But we'll see what happens there. But I think it's best for the Buckeyes. The timing sucks. You already started spring camp or spring ball. You're a week in, plus the week of spring break is ending today. So timing is really weird to deal with a coaching change from the Buckeye point of view. Already got 2 practices in. Alford coached 4 running backs who have gone on to be drafted in the NFL at Ohio State. But J.K. Dobbins is the only one who he recruited and signed out of high school. Then you got, you had Trey Sermon, Quinshon Judkins. Those were transfers he brought in. He did bring in Trey Henderson. Did I say Trey Sermon? Yeah, Sermon was a transfer. Trey Henderson was the highest ranked running back Ohio State's ever brought in since Beanie Wells in 06. So, and Trey's going to be an NFL player too. We know he's going to be drafted a year from now. So But then you got the downside of Alford's recruiting, and there's rumors that Day really had to push him hard to go recruit and get his ass out there on the road. You know, you had the Jordan Lyle flip this last class. Then you had that was 2024. Then you had the same deal with Mark Fletcher in 2023. So back-to-back years. Again, South Florida guys pulling the plug on you at the last minute. So in 2023, they signed none running backs. Then you had back in 2020, Bijan Robinson, top running back in the class, was going to commit to the Buckeyes or might have silently committed. We're not sure. Who's to say, whispers in the dark. I don't know. But he ended up at Texas. We know that was a family thing. Bijan's grandparents wanted him to be closer to home from Arizona. So whatever. Still a late loss, you could say. Not necessarily maybe a flip. Who knows? It's nebulous. Over 9 full recruiting cycles with the Buckeyes, Alford signed 6 high school running backs who were among the top 100 players in the nation in their classes. So Trey, again, highest ranked running back recruit since 06. I was going to go through his list here. I'm not going to go through everybody, but he brought in Jalen Gill, an Ohio guy, J.K. Dobbins, Demario McCall, Evan Pryor, Brian Sneed. Now, those two right there, I don't know if you can, because they're no longer with the program, I don't know if you can blame Tony for that. Evan Pryor injury, put him behind. And then Brian Sneed was forced to leave school on some bullshit. So you do have James Peoples coming in. He's a high 4-star. Hopefully he's hanging around. We haven't heard anything terrible about him jumping ship. I don't know if he took Ohio State out of his Instagram profile or if it was never in there. I don't know, but we haven't heard anything about him hopping in the portal, and he can't yet anyways. That's the luxury we have with the portal opening after the spring game. I think it opens on my birthday, April 16th. So if you're thinking about gifts, April 16th is the birthday. You know what I like, bourbon. So there's a bunch of guys that Tony helped recruit. Master T, Steel Chambers, guys like that, Dallin Hayden, of course. He even helped out with, he had like the Southeast Florida and stuff as his territory. He also did a little bit in Arizona. So Marcus Crowley's another one. Injuries, cut his career short. So he brought in some quality dudes overall. Sam Williams-Dixon, we'll see what he's got. So Mayan Williams is another, that was a 3-star he brought in. So overall, good and bad. But I feel like the room is improved, I guess. I mean, you're going from Ezekiel Elliott in 2015. That's his last year. So, J.K. Dobbins coming off that. That's pretty good. So let's talk about who's next. Let's get into it here. I am going to get to your comments and questions. Who's next? Who are the rumored interviews coming for this running back position? Now, you got to know that I should mention up front, I don't always subscribe to the theory that you start with former Buckeyes. I don't think that's smart in every case. We have, we've gotten lucky with Tim Walton, Brian Hartline. We'll see about James Laurinaitis. The linebackers didn't look that great last year to me. But anyways, I'm not going to blame it all on injury, but jury's still out on James Laurinaitis as a coach for sure. But again, I don't go to the Ohio State all-time great list of players and start thinking, okay, this guy could be a position coach, because it doesn't make sense. Many of them have not cut their teeth in the coaching game. Ohio State is not where you typically start your coaching career. Now, it did happen for Heartline. I know that. But in most cases, you want guys to go get experience at lower levels, work their way up, work on their recruiting pitch, work on their position, know it in and out. And then also you got to bring scheme changes to the table. So, but with that said, Tennessee State head coach Eddie George said he is not interested. The Buckeyes put feelers out back in January, by the way, to Eddie. But the number one guy on my list is Robert Gillespie. He is the running backs coach for Alabama. You guys have probably heard this name floated around. He's one of the country's most respected position coaches and has an excellent track record in just 3 years at Alabama. This would be a huge swing for Ryan Day to take, whatever. But that's what we do, I mean, when Bill O'Brien takes another job, you go get Chip Kelly, So we tend to upgrade the position or the coach. So Ryan Day's gonna interview Gillespie, and look for Ryan Day to take his time. I don't think this is gonna be done by Monday. So all next week he'll probably be conducting interviews, come to a decision, and we'll get more about his plan on Tuesday. I believe he meets with the media after practice on this coming Tuesday. So huge swing, but hey, man, we pilfered Alabama this offseason, so why stop now? You take the center Seth McLaughlin, you take their fucking stud safety Caleb Downs. Oh, and by the way, also their player personnel guy Petito, front office guy. So fleecing. I need a drink of water. No drink today. No vodka. Have some a little later. But anyways, yeah, Gillespie's been a top recruiter for Alabama, not just at running back. These guys have regions of the country that they work on too. So his region is like Florida and the Southeast. So he obviously he's beaten Ohio State for guys like 5-star running back Justice Haynes. Also, he was part of the Keon Keeley, the defensive end recruitment for Alabama. Beat the Buckeyes there as well. So, across his 3 recruiting cycles at Alabama, he's brought in 5 5-stars, and he was the primary recruiter in 4 of those. He gets credit for the 5th for whatever reason, is his position or whatever, but I don't know who it was. But so new Alabama head coach Kalen DeBoer made it a point to promote Gillespie to assistant head coach right after he was hired. So, but definitely Ryan Day is going to make that call. And we're hearing right now, the breaking rumor is that there is interest on both sides, and it's a matter of, going through the process. Ryan Day is going to go through the interview process with other dudes. And I think the pay is going to be no problem. The Buckeyes are going to pay. And who knows, he might be up close to $1 million a year. If Tony was at like 770,000, I think they'll probably get close to 7 figures with Gillespie here. But some other guys that you might like to hear: Scotty Graham, former Buckeye captain, by the way, played a bunch of years in the NFL. He has the qualifications for the job and is currently running backs coach at University of Washington. So he's at a Power 5 school, soon to be a Big 10 school. And Scotty Graham, if he's at a big school, he's probably got good recruiting chops. I'll have to go check out who he's brought in there. But you also got Pepe Pearson, another Buckeye from the 90s. He is currently Tennessee State running backs coach for Eddie George, and former Buckeye running back. He's probably not quite ready. He's one of those guys that I talk about not quite being ready to take over a position coach at Ohio State. He's at an FCS school, only been there for a couple of years. So he's been at lower level FCS schools before that. So he needs some more time, more experience. Supposedly, I don't know how much I believe this, but Mike Hart is going to get an interview with Ryan Day. I don't put a lot of stock in that. Then the other one that I really like is Tashard Choice from Texas. He's their running backs coach. Obviously, they do pretty well. See Bijan Robinson. And then Bijan's backup was good too. So he would be a good one. And they're probably paying him close to the same $800K. But then there's another guy, actually from Central Ohio, Matt Merritt. I didn't remember this guy being at Ohio State, but he played football at Capital there in Central Ohio. Got his master's from Ohio State. He was GA at Ohio State from 2013 to 2015, focused on the running backs. And he is entering his first season as running backs coach for the Canes. Now, it might be a little early in his career to start getting Ohio State interviews, but he's one to think about just because of the familiarity with Ohio State. We got some other names here. I don't know if I put a lot of stock into these guys, like Dylan McCullough. He's Desan McCullough's dad. He's been a 13-year running backs coach, born in Pittsburgh, played his college football at Miami of Ohio. Only played 1 year in the NFL with the Bengals, but he's been running backs coach at Indiana and then Notre Dame. And of course, we know Desan McCullough, so Ryan Day has that relationship there. So former Buckeye commit, by the way, class of 2022. Is that right? Yeah. Then there's Stan Drayton, former Buckeye running back coach. Again, I don't always subscribe to going back and recycling old coaches that have been here, but he was an excellent recruiter, good running back coach. He is currently Temple's head coach. He recruited Ezekiel Elliott and coached him through the 2014 season. Then he went on to Chicago Bears and 5 years at Texas before he got the head coaching job at Temple. So he's been there since 2022. Temple sucks. The school sucks. The program sucks. He's gone 3-9 in both of his first 2 seasons there. So he might want to get the hell out of there, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised. So then you got DeMarco Murray. He's been mentioned. He actually interviewed with the Cheaters for their running back job that Tony just took. This will be a huge hire, except the only thing is, so it's obvious that he's interested in looking around. But he's at his alma mater, Oklahoma, coaching running backs. Does he really want to leave Oklahoma? I don't know. There's also an issue where he went to management when he was with the Eagles in the NFL, and Chip Kelly was the coach. He kind of went over Chip Kelly's head to management, bitching about Chip. So there might be an issue there between Chip and DeMarco Murray. We'll see. Some other names just thrown out there that I don't put any stock in are Chad Scott. He's running backs coach and offensive coordinator at West Virginia. I don't think so. Who else? Deuce Staley? No. I think he's in the NFL and he's never been in college football coaching anyways. Cadillac Williams, another one. He's an Auburn legend, right? And he's coaching at Auburn. So does he want to leave? Oh, he did just leave for the Raiders. So yes, he does want to leave. But he seemed like a good running backs coach when he was at Auburn. I don't think he wants to come back to college. So Gillespie is the top target right now. But again, Ryan Day is going to take his time, go through the process and there's probably a name or two that we don't even know about that are going to be interviewed. And there's probably some dudes you could probably cross off that list, like Mike Hart. I mean, seriously. But all right, let's get into the chat and see what you guys got on your mind. If you want to, if you're tired of this topic, we can get into the 14-team playoff expansion. It's always a win-win. But all right, let's get into the comments. Who's first in here? Billy is first through the door. Billy says, "Go Bucks, go Bucks, Billy. God damn it." Sorry to cuss. No, I'm sorry. Odysseus says, "OH." I say IO to you, sir. Tyler says OH. Billy says IO. Tyler says, "Joe, you mean Benedict Arnold." So is that what we're calling Tony Alford now? Benedict Arnold? I got no problem with it. I'm with you. It does seem kind of personal, doesn't it? A personal issue between Ryan Day and Tony Alford, that Alford goes to the cheaters up north. Yeah, I think it might be a little personal. Odysseus, we don't give a damn for the whole state of cheat again. Benedict Arnold, no big loss. All right. I like it. I like the strong opinion there. I think it was good timing for everybody. Not good timing. Let's not say that. I think it was necessary for both parties to go their separate ways. We're going to go on kicking ass in Columbus. Tony, see you on down the road. Billy says, "Good riddance." All right. Temper says, "IO." What's up, Temper? Been a while. Tyler says, "Good riddance. Let's get a better recruiter." Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just laid it out, it's been a lot of ups and downs with Tony Alford's recruiting, right? Lately it's been a lot of downs. I like James Peoples, but Sam Williams-Dixon is a 3-star. No offense to SWD, but I mean, seriously, I don't know. I like James Peoples. Odysseus says, "Blessing in disguise, Joe. If we get Gillespie or Texas RB coach, yes, those would be massive upgrades. I would have taken both of those guys yesterday. I would have taken them months ago and fired Tony Alford and paid his buyout, whatever it might be. So not a big deal." Jeremiah says, "Good riddance to Jabba the Hutt, Alford." Kick rocks, traitor. Why has he got to be Jabba the Hutt? His kids call him Milk Dud. He does look like a fucking Milk Dud. So, what else here? Odysseus says, "I will say Dave made a mistake not just firing him in January." Yeah, he did kind of put us behind the 8 ball with the timing. But hindsight's 2020. You didn't know back in January that he's going to jump ship in the middle of March, right? So, yeah, ideally it would have been nice to have all of these replacements and replacement jobs taken care of by now. Tyler says he was the lowest on the totem pole. Yeah, him and Justin Fry both, I believe both their contracts were expiring at the end of 2024. So we'll see what happens with Fry Daddy. But as far as recruiting, Tyler, I'm with you. I got tired of the roller coaster ride with him, But Pam says, "I think we can get better. Just hope we don't lose any of our running backs." Yeah. Again, I don't see any issues right now. Like, we're lucky that the portal is not open currently. If it were, then I'd be very concerned about James Peoples. So since we've got almost a month until the portal opens, that's plenty of time for Ryan Day to hire somebody new, get them in here, get the players acclimated to the new coach, learning their ways of coaching, if they like it, don't like it, whatever, and they can make a decision there, instead of making a rash decision right now. So fortunately, we don't have to worry about the portal, but yeah, it's not good timing. Let's see. Billy says Gillespie would be awesome. Be hard to get him out of the South. Yeah, he is originally from Mississippi. So coaching at Bama and being from the South is difficult for sure. I agree with you, Billy. But if you're not feeling real solid about Alabama's program right now, changing leadership, then this might be the time to jump, right? And who knows, you know, uh, what's going to happen there. I got Alabama losing like 4 games at least, maybe 5. So I don't know if I'd want to be part of that if I'm getting job offers. Yeah, even if it is Ohio State up north. But again, guys want to coach at Ohio State because they know they're going to get paid well. Ryan Day's a good head coach to work for. And you're always going to get talent. You're going to get your foot in the door with every recruit across the country. You know, the block O, just like the script A, will get you in a lot of doors. So if you're thinking down the road as a coach at Alabama, you know, what if DeBoer gets fired after 2 years, you know, 3 years? Then you're out on your ass. And ultimately, we always go back to this the same question with every coach that we bring in. You know, what's their why? What is their motivation? Does he want to be an OC someday? Does he want to be a head coach someday? You know, all things that are like interview questions, right? But Timper says, Tyler says, Pam, I don't think we're going to lose any of our running backs. All right, Tyler, I'm with you there. Timper says our run game wasn't all that. His recruiting wasn't all that. We could do way better. All that sucks is the timing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I got tired of the roller coaster ride of recruiting with him, you know. The late flips from the South Florida running backs, shit like that, you know, not locking up Bijan, regardless of the reason, you know. So Odysseus says Stan Drayton was here 3 years and had the same number of NFL draft recruits. Yes, you got a big one with Ezekiel. Probably the best. Yeah. Billy says the timing was a big time chunk move. Yeah. Yeah. Yakov, what's up, Yakov? Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. Yakov says apparently Day told him to stop focusing on South Florida, but Alford felt otherwise. Yeah, if Day told him that and he still did it, like he's in on Byron Lewis down at American Heritage, I think. Is it Heritage or is it STA? Anyways, doesn't matter. So he's again continuing to recruit 2025 running backs out of South Florida. It's like, dude, how many times are you going to get beat over the head with the same fucking stick? So, yeah, if Day told him to stop recruiting South Florida, then cut your losses, man. Fucking move on. I agree. That's terrible. Odysseus says, I wonder if the leaks from the Woody will now cease. Yeah, probably. You mean the Tony and Zach Smith connection? Seems like there was some give and take there. But you know, Berm, I'm not shitting on Berm here, but Berm is the one that actually did Tony Alford's statement, his graphic, where he's walking through the clouds for whatever reason. I don't know. Anyway, so Berm is also a connection to the media from Tony Alford. So, yeah. And who knows who else? Tony Alford. I mean, all the media guys say Tony was such a great guy, a nice guy, good dude, and all that. But this does seem personal between Ryan and Tony. So just one more reason to kick the shit out of Michigan, the cheaters, in November. Tyler says James Peoples unfollowed Tony on Instagram. Yeah, I think multiple people did. Billy says, do we name a new coach next week? Maybe end of the week, maybe by Friday. I think Ryan Day is going to take his sweet time, and yeah, he's not just going to interview Gillespie only. He's going to, go through a list, whatever it might be, 5 dudes, I don't know, and hit them up, talk numbers, talk ball, talk coaching style, because you want somebody that's successful at coaching running backs, right? So the style has to kind of jive, and he's got to work with the staff. He's got 9 other coaches that have to get along with this guy. So, Odysseus says Alford is the coach who played Teague over Sermon in 20 and Chip Trainum with 0 carries over Hayden versus the Cheaters in 22. Those are very, very fair points, Odysseus, and I'm with you on those. Master Teague was a good dude, good Buckeye, but not a great running back. He definitely was not ready to go in that 2019 game against Clemson when J.K. got injured. Teague was not ready, and all we needed was a couple first downs in that fourth quarter to seal the deal, and we couldn't get it done after J.K. went out of the game. So excellent points, Odysseus. Yeah, and using Chip Trainum against the Cheaters a couple of years ago, I don't understand that, And then, we still have the weird red shirt thing with Dallin Hayden last year. Why are we redshirting him 3 years in, 2 years in, whatever? Maybe there's some agreement between Dallin's dad, Aaron Hayden, and and Alford and Ryan Day. Maybe they're all in agreement that they wanted to redshirt last year. So that red shirt's off now. The management of the room back in 2022 when we had all the injuries was not great. Pam says Hayden should have played way more than he did last year. Well, they wanted to redshirt him, so he could only play 4 games. Plus the postseason is does not count against your redshirt, but it was clear that they wanted they had some kind of agreement that they were going to redshirt Dallin last year, and that's what they did. But yeah, I would have liked to have seen more. Odysseus says people's rumors were all Cheaters fans spewing BS. I agree. I'm not too worried about James Peoples. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. Again, by the time the portal opens up, we're going to have a new coach in here. He's going to have plenty of time to work with the players, get the room in order, get to know each other, So I'm not too worried. Again, this is Ohio State. We bring in the best of the best, right? So I don't see us losing out on a top flight running back coach. Billy says, I've heard DeMarco Murray mentioned. Yeah, I mentioned him. Again, if there's some issue with Chip Kelly and DeMarco when they were both at the Eagles, that could be an issue. I don't know. Can they put that to bed? I think it was only over a year that they crossed paths there, but we'll see. But yeah, does he want to leave Oklahoma? I don't know. Billy says if we get Gillespie, we should definitely give Saban a ring when we win the Natty. Yeah, he definitely deserves a ring or something. Yeah, the Bama Buckeyes. Pam says, agree, Joe, Alabama or Texas coach would be an upgrade. Yep, for sure. I have no preference. So, I mean, if you want to list them out, I'd say my top 3 that we're aware of right now, I go number 1 is Gillespie. I think we can all agree on that. Number two, I go with what did I just say? Tashard Choice from Texas. And then number three is probably Scotty Graham from Washington. So, yeah, I go Gillespie, Choice, Scotty. Beam me up. So we'll see. Billy says, whoever we get will be an upgrade. Yes. Billy says Davison is deciding if he still wants to make his visit. Yeah, that's the concern there, right? Is the current 2025 class. Now, the bright side is we have Bo Jackson from Cleveland, Marquise Davis from Cleveland, and those are in-state guys, obviously. So can you bring them in? Can you land those two guys if Jordan Davison from California decides, he doesn't like the new coach? He's got his visit is scheduled for March 27th, I think. 1 second. I have it right here. Yeah. 27th to the 28th. He's bringing his whole family. He's actually coming for 4 days, unofficial from California. So that they're paying their own way. He's bringing like grandparents and everything, the whole 9 yards. So they want to get to know Columbus, campus, obviously everything else that comes with a visit, but again, unofficial visit. So that's a big deal. If they can still get him on campus, and you're definitely going to have a new coach by then, let's say we land a new coach by a week from today. So that's March 22nd. You still got, 5 days for the new coach to touch base with the recruits and see if there's a connection, like the dating game. So we'll see. Yeah, Davison is a big one though. He is a big one. I would definitely take Davison, but I do like having two in-state guys that we could bring in with Marquise Davison and Bo Jackson. Sage Ohio says, "Hi, Owl. What's up, Sage? How are you? Nice to smell you." Billy says, "Hey, Sage." Tipper says Gillespie would be ideal. He could get some good linemen down south. And that's a good point. Yeah, he definitely would be in on recruiting Florida. I know Tampa is one of his territories. Because that's where Keon Keeley went, or where he's from, I mean. But yeah, I agree with you, Temper. Gillespie is the top target, then Choice, and then Scotty Graham in my eyes. Sage says, whoever Dave brings in, he'll match Kelly's style of rushing. Good point. Yes, you do need guys to match up with what Chip Kelly wants. So, it's both Ryan Day and Chip Kelly conducting these interviews. I'm sure Chip Kelly has a nice long Rolodex of running back coaches. He probably has contacts we haven't even thought of across the country. So, Deshaun Foster. I'm gonna give you a Deshaun Foster. Anybody will steal UCLA's other next head coach. Oh, that would be brutal, man. Coconut Dreams 123 says, "Hey Odysseus, what's up, Coconut? Good to see you back." Odysseus says, "Hey Coconut, Tipper Kelly could coach the RBs. It's in his run game." Yeah, but he's coaching quarterbacks. You can't have him coaching running backs and quarterbacks. So I would just let Chip Kelly stick with the quarterbacks, and we need to fill out the staff anyways with a 10th guy, and we're not going to go get a special teams coordinator. So we're not going down that road again. Not in my world. So yeah, I think you lead Chip to the quarterbacks, bring in an RB coach. Odysseus says, "It is funny, 1 week ago, Mike Hart was a great running back coach and Tony was worse. And now Cheater fans say losing Hart was no big deal and Alford is a big steal." Yeah. Funny how those things flip on their head, don't they? It is funny. And have you seen some of the messages from the Cheaters message boards? they're saying Mike Hart had a drinking problem, all this stuff, just burying the guy out the door. Uh, so that's funny. Um, Sage says, I heard Hart interviewed. He's on the list, allegedly. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but I heard that as well. I would just say, you know, hand us Michigan's playbook. Thanks for the interview. We'll call you, you know, drink of water time. Mm. Odysseus says, no thanks. Feel he'd be a spy in the program. Yeah. What if Tony Alford is the spy for us? Payback for Stallions. Maybe? Nah, probably not. But yeah, I agree, Odysseus. I'm not interested in Mike Hart. Fuck that guy. I don't want any ex Michigan players ever on my Ohio State staff. Ever, ever, ever. I don't care if he's the best recruiter since sliced bread. No Michigan players on my freaking staff ever. Billy says that doesn't sound like Michigan fans. Odysseus, right? Sage says Hart might have revenge. Yeah, I see your point there, Sage. He definitely would have the revenge factor, but that goes both ways too. You know, like we have revenge on our minds right now towards Tony Alford. You know, we want to beat that ass come November. So, uh, yeah, I'm not down with Mike Hart. Billy says, don't want a cheater coach on staff. Exactly. I agree. Pam says, I saw where Davison doesn't know now if if he'll come to discuss it with his mom. Damn. Yeah. I'm not surprised he's having second thoughts. Um, so I would say if you're a recruit, just press pause. Don't make any decisions. You know, see what the Buckeyes do with this new hire, whoever it is. If you like it, make the recruiting visit, or if you can postpone it, that's fine too. But if you like the choice, Tashard choice, or whoever they hire, you know, then you can still make that visit and see if you jive with the guy in person. So, and you need to see how he coaches in practice. So you got to come be there for a practice so you can monitor, you know, the way he interacts with his players, how they run drills, things like that. So we'll see. Coconut Dreams says Gillespie choice Graham. I'm down with that, Joe. OSU for the upgrade and the win. OH. IO Coconut. Nice coconuts. Um, yeah, I'm fine with any of those. Billy says, IO. Coconut Dream says, right on, Billy. Pam says, also, of course, there are rumors now about him being at the top of Michigan boards now because of Tony going there. It's sickening. Yeah. Yeah. Uh, I'm not surprised if any of these guys that Tony Alford's recruiting that he's offered, if those guys don't immediately jump to the top of Michigan's board. I don't know who they offered, but I'm guessing ours are a little better, right? So, yeah, we'll see how things pan out. There's a lot of good running backs in this class, so Buckeyes need at least two, and you know, Michigan's probably going to get a good one with Sharon Moore calling the shots there as head coach. They're going to run the shit out of the ball, a la Harbaugh. So don't be surprised if we see more of the same bullshit, you know, from the cheaters, from an offensive point of view, anyway. Pam said he left for health issues too. Oh yeah, Mike Hart. Yeah, he said he left for health issues. Whatever. Sage says, not saying I want him, just heard the story. Yeah, I understand, Sage. No problem. Um, yeah, I think that's That's just a middle finger to the cheaters to interview Mike Hart. There can't be any other reason. I hope. Um, but Odysseus says, long long time till signing day, so not worried yet about Davison's fair point. Uh, Even if he does postpone this visit, it's not a big deal. You know, I would rather he be comfortable with the new running back coach and make a good decision than to make a rush decision and then have to hop in the portal, after being on campus for a few months or for a year, whatever. So yeah. Um, we'll see. Yeah. We can't get too geared up. We got a national championship to win this year. Recruiting will come with that, I believe. And again, having two in-state studs with Davis and Jackson make that a little easier to take if we don't get Davis. You Billy says Davison is important to help open the pipeline to modern day. That's a fair point. Yeah. We would love to reopen that pipeline or open it at all. That would be nice. So we'll see. That would be a key. And Davison has said, he's a big time Ezekiel Elliott fan. That's what got him interested in the Buckeyes. So, Alford wasn't part of that, of Zeke. I mean, one is last year, but Zeke was already Zeke in 2014, So in 2015, Zeke could have coached himself. He didn't need a running back coach. So no credit to Tony Alford for making for Zeke Elliott's success. So I think if you're Davison, I don't think that affects you, too much. Not too much. I mean, it does affect you, but the Buckeyes are going to bring in somebody good. There's no doubt. Sage says, we know Day won't have a shortage of applicants. No, definitely not. We're plenty of applications flying. They say his phone was blowing up, with guys wanting to get an interview and stuff. So I'm not surprised. It's just a matter of who do the Buckeyes want? This is like recruiting. The Buckeyes pick and choose. They select guys, It's not, yeah, you know what I'm saying. It's not them choosing us. Temper says being native Buckeyes, OSU would be their choice. Exactly. That's what I'm saying, Temper. Talking about Marquise Davis and Bo Jackson. I think they both should be locks to be Buckeyes. That's why if we lose out on Davison, it's not the end of the world to me. It would be nice to open that pipeline, of course, but still not a major loss. Coconut Dreams says, I was a football manager at OSU when Scotty Graham played for us. Not only was he very talented, he brought a lot of great energy too. Oh, that's interesting. Beast in the weight room, team player with NFL experience. Good to know, Coconut. I think I recall you saying you worked for Coach Bruce and Coach Cooper, right? So yeah, I like Scotty Graham. I got no problem with him. They say he's a good recruiter too. He's charismatic, he's got a good personality. So that definitely is going to help. And we all know that recruiting is priority one for any position coach. So you got to be able to recruit. That's number one. Ryan Day has said that flat out. Odysseus says 25 is great for Ohio recruiting. Very talent rich. Yes. Lots of dudes in the Buckeye State. I love it. And we've put out 13 offers to running backs so far. Some guys you can cross off this list that are already committed, like Gideon Davidson from Virginia. He's already committed to Clemson. Harlem Berry from Louisiana. He's committed to LSU, of course, shocker. Byron Lewis from American Heritage. You can cross him off my list. I'm good. We're good. Um, you got Waltez Clark from over in Tampa. He's committed to Florida. You got DeAndre Ridden from DeSoto, Texas. He's committed to Texas A&M. You got Taquai Hayes from Pennsylvania. He's committed to Penn State. So a bunch of dudes there. What, 5 dudes you can cross off of the 13. So that remains some dude, Osmane Chroma from Georgia. He is a 4-star. Jordan Davison, 4-star. We're skipping Byron Lewis. I want to say Brian Lewis. Corey Blaylock, 4-star out of Texas. You got Donovan Johnson from IMG, 4-star. Marquise Davis, Cleveland, 4-star. Taquai Hayes. Oh, yeah, he's Penn State commit. Chad Gasper, that's one guy I like. That's lower rated right now, but he's from Fulshear, Texas. And then Jeff Overton, he's got a visit scheduled shortly, an unofficial coming up from Virginia. So there's a lot of dudes. I want to check that Overton guy and see when his visit's coming up. Yeah, Davidson is the 27th, 4 days, so it's going to wrap around to April 1st. The other running back, yeah, Bo Jackson is March 30th to the 31st. So he'll be there at the same time as Jordan Davison. Running backs. Oh, yeah, Marquise Davis does not have an unofficial, but he does have an official. So does Jeffrey Overton from Virginia. That is May 31st, June 2nd. That's when they're doing official visits right there in June. So Overton comes in right there, and then Marquise Davis comes in June 7th to the 9th. So those are big visits that they're already locked up. So yeah. Is Bo Jackson listed as an athlete or something? Because he's not in the running back list. They must have him as an athlete. Yeah, there he is. Okay. Yeah, he's a solid 4-star. Okay. Back to the chat. Sage says Ohio State doesn't rebuild, they reload. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir, ma'am. I'm not sure. You are correct, Sage. And same with the coaching staff. And I have to say this, I have to speak this into existence. No promoting from within. That is all. Hopefully Ryan Day is listening. Coconut Dreams, good point on the modern day connection, Billy. Pam says, how does Fry keep a job? The O-line is better. I have a show coming up this weekend. I think it's Sunday. I'm going to do it. O-line versus D-line. I'm going to give you all the grades for the offensive line, all the PFF grades for everybody. Everybody that's returning anyways. Matt Jones, obviously, not included. And yeah, O-line must improve drastically for Justin Fry to keep his job. Again, his contract ends next January. So you want to get fired? Do you want to keep your job? Timper says still too soon, Pam. Okay. Jury's still out, huh? It does hurt you, though. I will say this: if you're on a 1-year deal, 1 year remaining on your deal, does hurt you in recruiting. You got to remember that. Larry Johnson's dealt with that for a long time. That's why head coaches always have a long-term deal, like 4, 5, 6 years, whatever. Timper says, see how he and Chip mesh. Exactly. Yep. Chip's a big part of this. You got to remember he's an added factor, an added piece to this coaching staff and to the running game, especially. But Chip and Justin Fry have that relationship, So I don't see Chip firing Justin Fry. Odysseus says, was it Alford or Fry that demanded so much stretch to the boundary, or was that Day's call? Well, Day was calling the plays. So I would say there's your guy, the bearded stretch it to the boundary guy. Sage says baseballer. Okay. Tyler says, I think it was Alfred, quite honestly. Odysseus. Well, Alfred wasn't calling the plays. But yeah, maybe Alfred liked that stretch into the boundary. Sage says Jeff. Okay. Take a drink of water here as we wind down. So it sounds like most of you guys are judging from your comments towards my question, up or down, thumbs up, thumbs down for Tony leaving. Sounds like everybody's in agreement for the most part. More than happy to see him go. And I'm with you there for sure. I think it's best to just part ways. You go, if you got to go to the fucking cheaters, go ahead, Tony, whatever. We're going to smoke you in November, and then we'll get better. We'll go get a better coach. We'll be fine. Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the like button on the way out. I greatly appreciate it. And you might want to make sure you're subscribed. I just looked at the stats today. Did you know that 80% of our listeners are not subscribed to the channel? Viewers, listeners, whatever. So it helps other Buckeye fans find the channel and the content. So I would appreciate it. It's free. There is no downside to it. You do not get spammed or have to deal with any BS. So please make sure you're subscribed, and I appreciate you hitting the like button. I'm about out of gas here, and I'm gonna go pour a drink and refuel. And did want to mention on the way out, no Sunday night show. Sean has missed the last 2 weeks, I know, so he really needed a break. But with the players being out this week, we really don't have a lot of new news to talk about, and it's we'll be back at it hard and heavy next week. Your daily blitz will be there every day, like it says in the title. So keep an eye out for that every day of the week, 7 days a week. We never stop. We're coming up on season 3. We're about to start season 3 of the Daily Blitz. So I've done more than 2 consecutive years every day, the Daily Blitz. That's impressive. I don't think I've ever done anything that long. So we're coming up on 3 years, start 3 years here very soon. Hopefully you guys will check out those shows. And if you're subscribed, you always get alerted when we release a new show. And Ryan Day, I mentioned, is talking to the media after Tuesday's practice next week. So you'll have that here. Hope you will check that out. And going to have a lot of running back coach questions for sure. So hope you guys all have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you later. Let me finish up the chat. Temper says, enjoy your weekend all. Same to you, Temper. Appreciate you. Coconut Dream says, water under the bridge for the Bucks and a great chance to bring in a way better coach. I'm with you there. That's sunny side up. I agree with you, Coconut Dreams. But yeah, I agree 100%. And let's go get better. Let's get better and reload the coaching staff. But Talk to you guys later. Go Bucks.